we're now going into August, which means it's the final month of the summer, and the season officially begins in like 2 weeks. So I think it's the perfect time to look back on the biggest team transfer windows and see how what they've done or how bad they've done so far. Beginning with Real Madrid, I have to give them a C+. I think it's a bit of a controversial weight because they brought in some pretty good big names players like Dinution and Trent, but overall I think in terms of improving their team and trying to improve from last year, which I think was a massive failure in terms of domestic achievements and also European achievements, I think was a massive failure, and I don't see how competition will improve much from last year now this year. I mean, their biggest issue offensively for the team last year was how Mbappe and Vini played together. I don't think there was a solution back then. I don't think there's a solution right now. And Real Madrid didn't bring in anyone offensively or attempt like Antonio to do anything in terms of that time to change that. Tactically, maybe Xabi Alonso has the answer. I don't really see the answer in the World Cup. Honestly, I don't kind of expect that answer to be there already. But maybe I saw a lot of rumors of Real Madrid targeting a number 9 striker, a guy like maybe like Celu as the role when the Vini and Bellingham played were the main players at Real Madrid, and they haven't done any piece of business in terms of that aim. Maybe Juan Garcia is the guy to take that role as a proper striker in their squad, but I don't think you're gonna cut it for a long season. Obviously, he had a pretty good World Cup. I don't know how long and how sustainable is able to hold that form. So I think they started to make a mistake by not bringing in anyone that can play the number 9 position really well and can maybe take off some striker duties of Mbappe, and maybe even we came out of a way to afford to play both Mbappe and Vini together. We also hasn't seen the situation be any more clear. I mean, he's kind of on the bench, he's very down pecking order now, and we haven't seen any sale going on the right move. I mean, there's a lot of rumors who are more concrete than any Rodrigo's moves. So also have to see after that. I think defensively, that was the biggest problem for Madrid. Last year it was very bad for them. I think their only defender last year sometimes was Asensio, was an academy player brought up last year. I mean, so many players at the back a long time, so I think they had to bring in at the back, and they had in the inclusion. I really like that signing. I mean, I would say that signing was a very good signing in my opinion. That was an amazing player, and he's already played amazingly for Real Madrid in the first couple of games. So I'm gonna have to have a pretty good plus, I'll say, for them for bringing in Hushan. But apart from him, I'll think maybe one more defender was needed in terms of set back reinforcements, because if Xabi Alonso wants to go that 3 back formation, nothing definitely yes, because David Alba is not really reliable anymore. Militao is very injury prone, and Rodrigo and the guy that can really complement the Hushan, because Asensio is very bad. I don't think he's anywhere near Real's level. Maybe looking at fullbacks like Alvaro Carreras and Trent Alexander-Arnold, I mean, both are great offensively, especially Trent. To be a guy who can offer a lot of different things to Real Madrid in terms of creativity in the final third and whatever. But defensively, I think we are very clear that Trent is not that great defensively. Neither is Alvaro Carreras. So I don't really see how the overall defensive aspect of this team is gonna improve when only one good defensive guy was brought in. I don't really see that the defense improving by that much. And even Trent, I see a tweet a couple of days ago. I don't know if that's real. I'm pretty sure it's not. But it said that Xabi Alonso lost sleep trying to think of ways to compensate Trent's defense. Like, he was so bad at defending that Xabi Alonso was losing sleep over how to hide his defense. Obviously, I think that's pretty much false. But if it's true, I mean, that can just sums up everything about Real Madrid and this past year. Apart from that, I mean, I don't think Real Madrid did nothing great enough to maybe make them as like be able to go against Barcelona. I don't see them as a team that's still able to go against Barcelona or to go against some of the best European teams in terms of getting that USL competition a win. I'm not going to see that anyways. I'm usually predicting a massive failure season again for Real Madrid, and I mean that C plus grade is only really because they brought in Hushan, because it's an amazing signing, and not really for Alvaro Carreras or Ramos Atuño. Actually a pretty good young signing, but not a guy who's going to contribute to you right now. I think that's what Real Madrid should prioritize at the moment. Now moving to another Spanish team, Barcelona, I'll give them a B. I think we know all type of financial complications that Barca have in their kind of budgets. The 1-to-1 rule, I think is what it's called in La Liga and whatever. So I think it's pretty fair to say that Barcelona doesn't really have much room to kind of make some big transfers or whatever. I think their biggest loss this summer yet has been losing Nico Williams. I mean, not really losing, but I think we're very kind of, actually one of us was very much expecting Nico Williams to join Barcelona this summer, and that really happens. I think that was the biggest miss for them. Honestly, I don't really see, I mean, they don't really have a biggest need for them because obviously Rafinha is at left wing, maybe because Rafinha moved to number 10 and Nico Williams at left wing. Apart from that, I don't really think, apart from that, they don't really add anything much wrong they have done. Maybe they kind of feel in bringing in a young striker to kind of become Lewandowski's replacements. I've seen some rumors about them wanting to bring in Erling Haaland next year or Isaac next year as well to then officially become Lewandowski's replacement, which I can see. I think, or should already have as well from Madrid. I think you would need to maybe wait more years to actually bring in a great player to actually replace Lewandowski. In terms of other positions, they brought in Rodri Barci, a guy I very much like. He's a very young guy, a guy who's not going to demand a lot of game time yet, and is able to really provide some depth at right wing for Lamine Yamal, and a guy like in 2-3 years can actually become a very good squad player for them. And same thing for like Marcus Rashford. Obviously, that is a high risk, a low risk, high reward signing. You know, it's a guy that said actually played pretty well at Aston Villa, but didn't really have his place at Manchester United. And getting him on a loan, I think, was a massive get. I really want Barcelona to kind of commit a lot of money to Rashford, a guy who has serious question marks all over him. And as a guy that's going to be very versatile, can offer you backup in left wing and striker, which is something very good because Barcelona doesn't really have the best offensive depth in their front line. So getting Rashford on a loan obviously have to pay his wages, which is something that's really bad because I imagine his wages are pretty big. But to make Man United not many to Man United for Rashford, I think that's a massive win for them. Getting a guy to obviously has a lot to prove, and I think he has some connection with some of the players that are Barca. I think again that's a low risk, high reward signing. If it doesn't work out, okay, like a loan to go back to Manchester like summer. If not, you can bring him back for another year or 2 more years, and really see him cement a place in the Barcelona squad. And after that, Ashraf Garcia is a signing I actually really liked because their signings getting older, he's getting a bit more injury prone. So I think bringing in a new replacement for him is ideal. Obviously, I don't really like until the second situation is going on right now where he's being frozen out of the club. He's going to go into surgery this month, I'm pretty sure, which means he'll also be unavailable for like a few months. If he was available, Barca still wouldn't play him. And also, Antonio Garcia is like a very young player and an amazing season at Espanyol. I mean, you saw how many teams wanted him. Arsenal wanted him, Madrid wanted him, so he was a guy who had a lot of interest around the world. But again, you need a replacement for long term. Antonio Garcia is really that. And also brought back Chesney. But I think a 2-year contract, I'm pretty sure, is a guy that last year was an amazing backup keeper. And you can do something as well, like you can even play some games in Barcelona if really needed, because he did well as backup keeper, and I think towards the end of the year we saw Chesney really become the number 1 goalkeeper over Ter Stegen even when he returned from injury. So I think overall, considering the finance restrictions that Barcelona had, I'm still pretty happy to see how Barcelona did. Honestly, I maybe would like 1 or 2 more signings, and maybe Nico Williams brought in. I think if Nico Williams brought in, that would be an automatic A potential window. But so far, I'll give them a V. I was very close to B+, because I think like really in the situation that they are in, it's probably more of an A. Now going to England, to Man United, this is going to be a V. I like the signings of Matushku and Rangnick, which I already talked about in the channel before. I mean, those are 2 pretty good players, 2 amazing players, especially Mviamo. That's going to help Manchester United, but I think coming into this summer, I think we definitely needed more from Man United, you know, because bringing in like two guys for front line is not enough. You're still missing a striker. You're still missing maybe a midfielder or 2 to come into your team. You're still missing maybe 1 or 2 more defenders because he played Johnny Evans a lot last year and now he's gone. You played Masraoui a long time as centre back as well. I think 1 more centre back wouldn't really hurt you, actually very much help you. And you're still also in the complications of the goalkeeper department. Or is still there. There's a lot of rumors with Lemons and Martinez this summer, and nothing's really been concrete or anything yet. I think that's really my main complication with United so far. They are taking so much damn time to make signings. The screen is actually pretty quick. But Miyambo, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that rumor went on for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks before they announced the signing. And that is just like, for a team that's coming to this summer, off the back of their worst ever season, having maybe the worst ever squad we've ever seen, having their history, and being this much patient and this much reluctant to wait like 3 or 4 weeks to get a new guy in who's not really gonna take you to a whole new level like instantly, I think is a massive mistake by United. It's been almost 2 months since June, since season ended, and the brought in Matheus Cunha and Brahim Miomo, and they managed to sell 9 players that are almost out of the club. Like going to summer at Rashford, Anthony, Jadon Sancho, and Garnacho. Those are 4 wingers. They're coming into this summer with Man United needing to sell them because they did not have a place in their squad. Rashford got to Barcelona, like I said, on a loan, so that he didn't even get any money back. Obviously, not having to pay his wages is pretty good, but still, he got a lot of money from that he can use on transfers. Garnacho has some links to Chelsea and Napoli, but that's pretty much it, and some Pro League clubs as well. Anthony as well, anything noise about him. Jadon Sancho, we saw some noise about Juventus. Nothing's happening with Juventus and Sancho. They managed to not sell any 3 players they still have yet to sell and got no money for Rashford at all. So obviously I know Man United are kind of struggling in the financial departments and that maybe they need to do a few more sales to be able to bring in more players. But even their lack of aggressiveness towards selling players, like even demanding lower fees or whatever, is also absurd for me that they not yet managed to sell a single player for money in this transfer window. Which for me, I mean, again, if I was an United fan, I'll be very angry because they've done so bad this summer yet. I mean, they've managed to bring in on 2 players who also are going to be great. We still like the number 9. I think was their biggest, hole in their squad. You have Austin, who has played amazingly bad last year, and Xerxes was off from number 10 now to number 9. Even like Brahim Miomo, also those like guys that can play as a striker if you want to, and the Marine if you want to. But look at the Marine, and now he played with Sporting, and his strikers like Gyökeres and Paulinho are 2 strikers who are very physically dominant. I think neither Miomo or Cunha really fit in that mold of players that Marine will want to play. Also a big fan of not going after the Delap. They've not managed to bring him in. Chelsea bought him. Not lost on that race, and I don't know what to want to do to bring in a goalkeeper. Like Sam Lemons, I think they demanded like 15-20 million. I think just should get him and try also find a suitor for Ananda, because I feel like or Austin as well. There's not even a single player that left Man United for any money, and we're still sitting here wondering why. Like Man United has have the weakest of links. Like we've seen links with Matheus Cunha and Brahim Miomo. Those are the 2 guys that they've signed, and now we're seeing maybe Seshko being a possibility. I don't really see a world where Seshko is going to Man United in the next week because they don't have the money and they don't have the patience or the aggressiveness to be willing to make a Seshko transfer quickly. I think Newcastle is pretty much going to sweep him away if Isaac really does go to Liverpool, which I think again is the most probable outcome. I mean, United is really in a bad place right now. I mean, I think they won against West Ham their first season friendly, but still, I mean, looking at this summer so far, I have been disappointed. Maybe that's like the team that I was disappointed with. Actually, I give them a V because this is about 2 pretty good players. This is very close to an F, and if they don't do any more action in terms of selling players or buying players until September hits, that's going to be an F for sure. Now, also for the team, Manchester City, I'm going to give them a B+. Going to the other Manchester City team, Manchester City is a team that has had just a dramatic, switch of aggressiveness and transfer strategy in this summer. Also, again, comes to adding way more money as Man United at this point, which actually feels very wrong because Man United is maybe the most profitable club ever in world football, maybe like top 3 at least. Like it's a team that makes the most revenue every single time in England and the world, so that's pretty wild. So Man City, obviously, they came off again like United, not obviously like United, but still came off a pretty disappointing campaign for them. I think they won like a 3-peat Premier League, and this year they went very bad on the first half of the season. I think they were like 10th at some point, or like really bad in Champions League, lost a lot of games, and then in the second half they managed to recover a little bit, but they lost a lot in the USL. They I think got 4th or 3rd or even 2nd in Premier League, but they were able to manage to catch Champions League football back for them and top 4 football and top 4 finish. I think that's pretty good. I think the absence of Rodri was really noticeable. I think again strengthens his Ballon d'Or argument because City without him was a very lost team. They've struggled to find a way to play without him for like a half a year. So I think that really speaks on how big of an influence Rodri has for the City team. Apart from that, I think it was pretty obvious coming this summer that this squad needed a massive overhaul. I think we saw signs of that already last winter when they sold Kyle Walker, they loaned out Kyle Walker to Milan. There was like 3 or 4 young players already start the rebuild phase. Now this year they brought in 3 young players who have been amazing, who are amazing signings in my opinion. I mean, obviously losing KDB also be a massive blow for you because I mean, even if he's nearing his older ages, he's still an amazing player, an amazing creator, amazing midfielder. Even again, he has a bit more injuries than usual. And to replace him, bringing in Rangers and Ryan Shirky, those 2 guys are amazing. I mean, those 2 guys, first of all, not that expensive. I mean, Ushman, obviously, I know, as a Sporting fan, I don't want to see Ushman leave Sporting. If he does leave Sporting to either United or Juventus, I mean, the most rumors, it's gonna probably go like to 60 to 80 million. And I'm pretty sure that's more than Rangers went by leaving Milan. I think, again, City has done some great business in these 2 signings, bringing in 2 midfielders who are still pretty young and can contribute to Man City for the next 5 to 10 years very easily. But Ryan Shirky has star level potential to be a star level player in the Premier League. So bringing those 2 young players, I think I've showed pretty much what we can do at Man City. I think some amazing signings. Same thing goes to Ryan Atnuri, the left back. I mean, again, left back is something that's fullback in general. It's also been a soft spot for Man City. Also, Kyle Walker, but he has struggled a lot in the past 2 years. Cancelo also amazing for City at the time. Like he left, like Rico Lewis, the guy that kind of began training Nico really as well. And then you have to see like, okay, I can actually play left back, Guardiola play left back, I actually play pretty well left back. Maybe like Guardiola doesn't really want that in long term. And it was how much as Nunes play right back. Obviously, I think we'll still be waiting to see if the new right backs when it comes to City. Ramirez has been heavily linked to City, so we'll see if that happens. And Ryan Nunes, a guy that was amazing at Wolves. I think that, I mean, if you look at like the best players at the top 6, I think Ryan Nunes is definitely be up top there. And I mean, that's an amazing signing, getting in a more offensively able player in Ryan Nunes as a fullback and guys more natural at that position, other than Guardiola, who maybe still a bit out of positions there at sometimes. I think honestly, like looking at their team right now, also what they already have. And what they have now, obviously, again, maybe it depends on what Shaq Grealish leaves, how much money to get out of Shaq Grealish. They might make in a new attacker or might bring in a new right back. I think a new right back, I think, is almost guaranteed. And they also brought in Sever. I think this was a transfer that was already agreed earlier. I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but Sever also another great young player as well. But I mean, I really excited to see what City can do in next year, because obviously I think we start to see them last year actually begin to eat that form that's usual to see from Man City, to begin to win games very dominantly. And if they actually play the full season in that same way, they'll probably won the title, at least very much compete with Liverpool throughout the whole year. So I'm really excited to see what they do with these 3 new players that are going to be able to help them at a very high level. And also, like, they're going to get Oscar Bob back from injury, I'm a really big fan of, and I think has a massive, I think, potential final against Arsenal. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong there. Against United, I'm pretty sure. And an amazing FA Cup final. So I see what he can do now when he has a full season from him. Also, again, James Michael is a guy to my lead City. I saw today an offer from Nottingham Forest for £25 million rejected. So maybe we see a big offer from him come in. As well, check Grealish, maybe to get enough money to buy in 2 more players. I mean, again, I don't think it's quite near A level that summer has been, but it's been a very great summer for Man City, and I cannot wait to see all 2 play next year.